Welcome back to News Center. Thank you very much for staying with us. All right, now, so we want to go back to our conversation that we started earlier on with Susan Guitar, who is a lecturer at the Nazarene University, but she's also a trauma and counseling expert. And of course, we have been speaking about the people that we've become. We've seen quite a number of cases which are really disturbing to do with the family setup in schools. And the conversation really is where are we heading to, really, as a society? Should we be concerned about the things that have been happening over the last couple of months? Let's just take a look at some graphics, Susan, and I want us to just, put our case, with some of the issues we want to talk about. And of course, we'll start with this recent one. And this is the allegations of rape cases in KNH. And it's even horrible that, this is happening in a hospital, Susan. So the management has, of course, maintained that the claims are baseless. But of course, we've seen, quite a number of people coming out secretly. They're not very confident to come out in the public, just saying that indeed these things have been happening in the corridors of the Kenyatta National Hospital, and it's really, really worrying. Then you have the KNH murder in 2015. Cosmas Mutunga, who's 42, was brutally murdered in the hospital bed on the 29th of November 2015. So still a lot of things happening there in hospital. Then you have gender-based violence. Remember, these are just cases. Most of these cases are very recent. Migori woman hands were chopped off. Now, if you remember last week, a Migori man went berserk, chopping off the hands of the wife following a domestic row. Actually, he came home and she had not cooked a meal and decided to chop off the hand. The man also stabbed the woman several times, leaving her for dead. Susan, what do you feel when you see, such cases? And even the one that I read earlier to do with a man who has abandoned his family because one of the children is physically challenged.
Yeah, that tells you the more reason we need to be worried and concerned as a nation. And this is for everyone. You're doing your best, highlighting what is happening in the society. The KNH issue is very sad. I know the women who have come out boldly, probably they were handled by some counselors, so they're able to talk. But there are many of them who cannot even talk about it because it is a traumatizing experience for them. And one of the things that you want to do when you're highly intruded as a woman is to keep quiet about it. So they're not keeping quiet because they do not want to say so and so. And the other thing in this country, you may end up giving your information and you're not safe.
Yeah, you don't know who's following you.
They need to be assured of this safety. The other thing we also need to look at is workplace stress. When I was doing a master's at Daystar, I looked at the mortuary workers, actually, KNH, City Morgue, and I took two private ones. And they were different, the way they were working. And that's why I'm saying we need to link up. We need to appreciate the work professionals can do. Because when I highlighted, I just asked them, and I wrote that in my thesis, can I say this? Can I say what you're going through? And there were highlights in 2007 about the workplace situation. Can we start talking? KNH, if they know this happens, they should not deny. We need to look for a solution. And that's why, Betty, I'm telling you, we need people coming out. We need mediators to come on board because KNH wants to protect, of course, her values and everything else that we have known KNH for. But at the same time, are they having employees who have issues that have not been addressed, and the best they can do is to actually harass those women.
Right.
And those women, again, I know at times we have said things that may not be true, all of it. We exaggerate. As a nation, we need now to be realistic, because where we are right now is not about politicking, about situations that are actually harming this nation. Domestic violence is actually on the rise, and it's both ways. Because when a woman chops off her husband's manhood, it's gender-based violence against men. When women do it, when men do it to the women, it is when we also do it to the children, whether they are boys or girls. Actually, we term it as sexual and gender-based violence. It is on the rise. And that's why I'm saying, as a nation, as a society, I know a long time ago, you would not see these things happening. They were prevented before they happened. But today, who cares for the other? It's become a man-eat-man society.
Right.
And beginning with our leaders, what are they showing us? When we are busy murdering each other out here, they're also busy telling us it's the high time we need hefty allowances. Can you do it also in a manner that does not really come out to the nation, and the nation feels, oh, those people we elected as our leaders, they're not thinking about us.
Right.
What about parenting? It has become a big issue. And Betty, where are people getting married? I think we've gotten to a level that people are not getting married for the right reasons, and they also don't know the values that are supposed to be upheld in marriage. Because why should you kill me? Why should you chop off my hands because you didn't find a meal at home? Maybe you didn't leave money
for
the same.
Yeah.
But that tells you this is a very stressed society. Who are they talking to? If I am stressed, who am I talking to? The recent case that happened in Juja, Juja sub-county, the man that killed his wife, his beautiful children, and himself. This was a man of 32 years old. And he had worked so hard to even have his own home, because that was his own home. Who was there to talk to this man? And the society says
we need to talk.
We need to mind about one another. And that is where I'm talking about community-based interventions. Let's not, the higher the leadership of this nation thinks about their speeches, what they say. Even the lower ones will actually get it, including the MCAs, the senators. You know, I looked at what Sakaja did, and it was a very good move. We need to reconcile. It's not about you belong to that divide and we belong here. This is the time we have to think, where are we heading as a nation?
All right.
It's worrying.
What can we do at individual level? Because, I mean, as much as all these things can, you know, we can lay blame on these politicians saying this and the rallies and stuff, but how can I, as Betsy, change the way I think and the people who are around me in my own little or small level?
Yes, that is what, Betty, we call self-awareness and personal development. One of the things I teach at the university when you talk about multicultural awareness is, do I have some biases? Am I sensitive to people's needs? Whether this is male, female, whether they come from an ethnic background that does not belong to mine, whether they are poor or rich, how do I feel about them? Because you may find a poor person feeling that they have been treated in an inhumane way. And they actually say, when I am grabbing from the rich person, I'm just trying to help us be equal. That is criminal. When you also go to the rich, how do you look at the poor? So you need to ask yourself in the first place, who am I? Because if I know who I am, then I would want to be appreciated the way I am. Can I also appreciate others the way they are? This country lacks empathy. And when I talk about empathy, Betty is talking about you getting into my world. We don't look at that. It's becoming a me kind of society.
All right.
We need empathy.
We need to change. Susan, we've run out of time, but this is a conversation that we'll definitely continue having. And just to help us, you know, move forward in the right direction as a society. Thank you very much, Susan Gitao. She is a lecturer at the African Nazarene University. She lectures